Hello and welcome back to my channel, and today we're gonna talk about Escape from Tarkov and the whole things that's going on with this game. Yeah, short story. I was one of those first people, well, not first, honestly, one of the bunch that actually signed up to this game the moment it got announced, pre-ordered, bought into the hype for the simple reason, back in the day when this game was announced, 2015-ish, it got released for early alpha access on 2016, open beta roughly around I think 2017, and well, I couldn't play the game because I didn't have the hardware for it back in the day. So I kept on jumping in this game here and there, year after year after year, and despite all the upgrades that I've done to my gaming systems, going from AMD to Intel, from Intel to AMD, then back to AMD, then back to Intel, different CPUs, different GPUs, different hard drives, SSDs, NVMe's, it would simply not run right. I mean, and by right I mean, above 60 frames despite the settings. Like, I can live with low settings, and I was really interested in the game, but I just couldn't get it to run properly. Now, I spent about a couple hours trying to get it to run. Followed every possible YouTube tutorial, which starts with double check you have your XMP enabled, make sure it's running from a fast drive, make sure you have disabled hyperthreading, make sure you adjust all the settings as in here, make sure you go in NVIDIA control panel, all of this, and I was still getting the weird stutters, the weird lags and stuff like this. So essentially, I just gave up and I said, that's too much effort to launch a game that's been out for 8 years and just have a go at it, finally, get good at the game, so to say, because Tarkov is one of these games where you die a lot, and if you survive the initial rage quitting and uninstalling phase, you might actually get good in it. And obviously, back in the day when it launched, very limited features. Now it's full of weapon customization, different healing stuff, multiple traders, and so on and so forth. What staggers me the most is the performance actually has stayed exactly the same, which is, in my opinion, just insane. Now, I know there's rumors that the Battlestate finally has said that this game will finally be fully released. It's not going to be a beta anymore, around 2025-ish, whenever this is right now, and people are really happy about it, which I believe is someone's forcing their hand, because people are moving over to Arena, Breakout, and Delta Force for the simple reason you don't need the latest CPU and GPU to play these games. You can max them out and they just run fine, and they're way more simpler, I would want to say. Like, they're not as punishing, they're not as hardcore as Escape from Tarkov, but the difference is, as I've always said, it's not about the difficulty of the game, it's about the performance of the game. Like, you could make Delta Force insanely hard, but it runs well, so people actually know that it's, if I'm lagging through the match, like, getting shot 2 seconds from a start is gonna make me rage quit. Not because I suck. That's going to be a secondary thought, because I'm lagging. Obviously, you will blame something that you can clearly see is impacting your performance. And if you follow all the tutorials and you see that there's essentially 2 camps. Camp 1, everything runs fine on my system, just upgrade, bro. And Camp 2 is mountains of forum posts about how this game doesn't run on no matter what you throw at it, which includes high-end system owners with 4090s and 78X 3Ds and 64 and 128 gigs of RAM. There's almost no in-between. And lately, there's been a video from a couple of the channels I follow where they say, oh, look at the player count for this game. Like, you have the regulars, obviously, the big Twitch streamers, the big YouTubers that are playing Tarkov, and they're smashing the noobs, fair enough. And then there's the people who are just leaving the game. They go like, what, nothing's changed. Like, the maps are the same, like, the objectives get shifted around, but the loot spawn locations are the same. The gameplay loop is getting very repetitive. There's a wipe after wipe after wipe. People coming in after a wipe, someone's already is just sitting on a grind wagon and is already at level like 30 or whenever you're getting the next tier of armor, and just just sniping, camping on noobs and just laughing at them, which makes entry for new players into this title almost nearly impossible. Like, if you don't know the map, if you don't know the extraction locations, if you don't know what you should be doing, how and why, dying 10 times in a row considering your entry fee to play this title is 35 euros, which is roughly like what, 30 pounds or maybe $32. I don't know how it translates to each currency. I'm pretty sure you spend more on beer over the weekend than to actually cry over the lost money that you paid for a game that literally does not let you play because of the player base it has. And considering you are actually losing your stuff if you're getting killed, even if you get the standard edition where you have couple AKs to your name and you go in, no matter if you're a scav or a PMC, and then you just go in and you get headshotted from a bush because someone just somehow magically spawned in before you with full kit and just waits for you to walk out of your spawn location because they just know the game inside out to the point where it makes zero sense for a new player to even step into the world because they will just get wrecked. I mean, I can understand the sentiment. Nevertheless, here's the fun fact what we're gonna do. We're gonna set everything on Ultra preset as per the slider, which means nothing in here actually corresponds to the slider for whatever reason. And we're gonna run this game and see how it goes. And the reason I'm using it on Ultra slider because there's a lot of conversation going on in regards people leaving for Arena, Breakout, or Delta Force that oh, it's an easier game to play. And I got to say, I played all of these titles. Like after Tarkov, I gave up trying to get it run decently, and I just went played Delta Force with my buddies, played Arena, Breakout, and even though one of those games, I do believe it's Arena Breakout, was on Unreal Engine based, it was running absolutely fine, over 60 frames, 2K Ultra settings. Same for Delta Force. And I was like, it doesn't make sense for me to try to get this game running playable enough level for me not to just play 2 additional titles I can play. And it just kind of struck me a bit odd, and considering there's new contenders coming into the extraction shooter genre, one of them being the Milsim Exfil game that I covered a couple weeks back, where you don't have a gear level, you don't have the grind fear, you just get the gun, go get it sorted, and you're playing against 3 other teams fighting for the same objective, which what it is, and how you approach it, that's essentially up to your own squad. And you might get wiped and you might not get wiped, who knows. But it's more about like want to be tactical or want to go run and gun, that's up to yourself. But that means that there's new players coming into this genre, and obviously there's couple new ones coming, which is strictly PvE rather than PvP, VE, which Tarkov figured out, we're gonna offer offline mode now, so you can play with NPCs if you shell out additional money, because if you're a brokey, you only bought the base standard version for 35, you're not getting it. You have to dish out additional 16 euros to get essentially an offline raid with bots, which is, I respect the hustle, like let them have it, but I'm getting off track here because honestly there's so much I want to say about this. It just feels a bit odd to see this game state after 8 years being literally exactly the same as it launched. I mean, man, that's crazy. Like that's the definition of insanity. Anyway, we're going with these settings on the screen, which as per the slider, the clouds quality should be on ultra, but they're on low for whatever reason. Just gonna put it all back on ultra, and as you can see, nothing changes for them, so go figure out. And what we're gonna do is gonna just launch the game. I already died, so come on, next. And we're gonna let's take Good Old Woods. Or we could actually get the terminal. No, reserve. Reserve should be fine. Let's grab a reserve. We're not gonna have the practice round because apparently if you go offline, your CPU is getting hammered by the NPC AI bots, and that's why you're getting low frames. If you're getting low frames after you followed every single tutorial on YouTube and the forums where people are sitting on quantum CPUs and playing this game with 300 frames somehow magically since day one this game released, which obviously is true, the source is trust me bro, then you just something's wrong on your end. Obviously just upgrade bro. That's like majority of the forum threads I've seen about this game just says just upgrade bro. And I've been through the block and back doing everything, NVIDIA control panel, XMPs, essentially checking if my XMP is enabled, honestly, disabling the hyperthreading, adjusting in-game settings, adjusting the view distance, the shadows, the map streaming, locking, unlocking the frame rate. I mean, the amount of things I've tried just to get this game running puts to shame any other older title that simply point blank refuses to run on Windows 11 and I want to play it and I have to mod the living hell out of it. Introducing widescreen fixes, introducing multi-core support, and you know, like everything that the older games cannot figure out anymore because the engine is outdated. It runs on OpenGL, right? Getting those games to even run and run decently, it's easier than getting Tarkov run on playable FPS. It just doesn't compute. Like, I'm not saying that, you know, i9 is the best CPU out there. Hell no, it's 6 years old. I think, well, it's almost nearly, well, I think it's even more than 6 years old. It's launched in 2018, give or take. So that, yeah, that roughly puts it about a 6-year bracket. What gives? In 2K, it should on low at least churn out something around 70 frames constantly. I'm lucky to see the frames above 70. And honestly, I've noticed that it really depends how many times you launch the launcher. You can launch the same level, either it's woods, either it's lighthouse, even if it's customs, even if it's labs. You can launch the game 3 times consecutively, and 1 out of 3 times the game will run absolutely fine. It's gonna run close to 100 frames. Next time you close it and you open it up again, it's gonna crawl at 50. Even below. It's gonna either hog all of the RAM you have, and I have 32 gigs, and it's gonna take 28, and next time you launch the game, it's gonna take 22. I don't know if the caching in the game is wrong, is it's not keeping the shader preload cache. I have no idea what it's doing, but honestly, the game doesn't even look that good to justify how much resource hungry it is. Like, it literally makes zero sense, considering this is not a fully open world. You have sections. Yes, you have transitions between the levels, you can find it, and travel to the next portion of the map, but it's not like you can just seamlessly transition throughout all of it like it's a Stalker 2. Which, you know, of course, you cannot now compare Stalker 2 with Tarkov, but you get the idea of freely traversing the playable area. And second of all, look how long it takes to just get ready. So let's just go for it, create the game world, and see how long it's gonna take to actually match with someone, because the player base has dropped. I don't know why, but it has dropped significantly. It's dropped to the level where it actually takes a good 3 to 4 minutes to actually find a match. Back in the day, and honestly, back in the day, that would be about half a year back, it took less than a minute. Like, you jumped in and there was always someone ready to have a go at you. Now you literally just stand around and just tumble your thumbs because there's no one to play with. Even though, again, as I said, as a new player, if you go in, you should be kind of getting some sort of directions what to do. And this, I guess, is one of the things where a lot of people say, oh, this is just your regular Tarkov experience. Like, you have to figure it out. You have to magically know. You have to die a million times and then you get good. And I'm like, that's not how learning curve works, man. It's almost like, you know, you take a guy, you sit it in an airplane and you go like, right, go fly it, right? If you crash and you die, you know, sucks to be you, buddy. But if you somehow magically manage to land, just do it again until you get it. Like, no, that's for a game that's got rather large mechanics and the way game works and how you can actually do different things. There should be something that should be kind of like giving a little prompts, at least to give an idea for the player. Like how to check your ammo count, how to toggle between your sights. If you have if you have optics, you got how to enable, disable your red dot if you have it. How to actually customize your gun, how to use the gunsmith. And obviously I wouldn't want to say all of the community, but majority of the community is just bunch of dicks, man. They have survived the first 2 years of the game's launch, and now they're the OGs, and now they're just like spitting on everyone who comes in. Like, I understand, you know, the royal level they have achieved by suffering through all the patching and all the wipes, but why would people on purpose go into the game, which is just full of dicks, man. I'm not even gonna talk about the cheaters. Like, this is like the last thing on my mind when it comes to Tarkov. The biggest cheaters are the NPCs. Like, they will shoot you the millisecond they have a line of sight of you, even if you're far away in the map. They will spot you through rain, wind, bushes, hills, and mountains. I had pre-shot and pre-aimed by an NPC while I was sitting behind a rock in my spawn. I was getting hammered. Someone started shooting at me, and unless I'm being dropped in from the sky and someone got my number from that, I'm sorry, there's no way it can happen. But these NPCs, they're just that good, you know. They just know that this is the only rock a player can spawn behind, so we're just gonna hammer the fuck out of it. So in case he actually decides to peek out and check, we're gonna headshot him. But, you know, it's just, some of these things happens in other games, like specifically on highest difficulty levels. Specifically Ghost of Recon, I would say, is where the psychic NPCs live, where they train their sixth sense. But all of this could be understood, you know, like, you can live with this. You can learn by dying if you have the game's performance. As I said multiple times before, if the game runs fine, it's gonna be fine in the end. But you cannot have no performance and then expect people to just do the same thing over and over again. And here we are, look at this. So our spawn location, GPU usage 48%. We're pulling almost the full video memory, 11 gigs, well, 12 gigs of 47 TTI, 24 gigs of RAM, and we're at 63 frames while doing absolutely nothing. I don't think this is normal. Now, granted, we are indoors, which technically is a very limited area, and that's your experience in Tarkov. How long it's been? How long did I spawn in? 5 fucking seconds? 5 seconds. Remote fucking area. Fucking scout runs up to me and just does me in. I mean, brother, you cannot even adjust your graphical settings when you're finally in the raid, and you get these cutthroats jumping on you. I mean, understandable. I can understand the flame war. Oh, you should have gotten a gun. You should have gotten into the cupboard. You should have barricaded the door. You should have actually, you know, fucking... Do you hear yourself from a side? What the fuck are you talking about? If a fucking scav runs up to you the moment you spawn in, I would feel better if that was a player. If we spawn in the same location with the same distance in between us and he just knows that that's the spawn location, it would make it easier for me to understand that he knows that this is a spawn location. Now, I know that this spawn location is a spawn location. I can take it into account, and next time if I spawn in the same place, I'm not going to be standing around. My learning curve is literally half a minute. Half a minute. This should be the world record of getting wiped in Tarkov by a fucking scav. I mean, and what did we have? We had 63 frames. Standing stationary. And honestly, it doesn't get much better. You're gonna get all the drops to 45 and below. And in some areas, as I said, you will get 70. You will get 90. Hell, I've seen even 100 frames at some point. And I started getting really concerned about my build. Now here's the thing, let's go and have a look at Delta Force. And look at the settings we're going to be playing on and how it looks. Let's have a look. So here we are inside Delta Force. So let's just double check the settings we're going to be playing this on. So graphically, 2K native, display refresh, 144, unlimited in-match frame cap. That's pretty much all there is. Graphics preset ultimate, so we're cranking everything up. Everything there is. No super resolution mode, no DLSS frame gen, low latency off. So let's just let's take a black size. 0 dam sounds good. Let's gear up. This is gonna be a death run, so I will probably just annoy a lot of people. Could just take a gun, really. Whichever gun. There we go. Confirm only. Yeah, less than 60 shots. That's fine. Let's just go in. And here's the thing. So, when it comes to games like this, unfortunately or fortunately enough, the frames do win games sometimes, you know, the famous or infamous Nvidia saying. And as I said, the performance decides the winner to an extent. Like, if you're lagging around and you just cannot place your shots for the simple reason you're stuttering, or you're dropping frames, or you're having hiccups, you can go through the whole rabbit hole if your PC does not match the requirements. But when it comes to Tarkov, their requirements, as I mentioned, they haven't changed. They might change once they decide to actually go fully out, as you know, official release finally. But as it stands, it's still 1060 and a quad-core i5 that they want, like a i5 2500, I believe. So one of the second-gen i5s, really, which is not exactly relevant nowadays. I mean, I started my channel with an i7 2600 and 980, and I was able to play games like Dishonored, Assassin's Creed, and stuff like this, and this was running fine. But those are old games. We're talking like, you know, 2010s, 2012 tops. This is 2025 nowadays, so it should be better. But it is how it is. So let's see once we load in. We're just gonna go from there. In this game, I do believe the loading actually depends on the region. I try to select the best region with the least amount of ping for the server, because the automatic one kept throwing me into Europe for whatever reason, and that's not where I'm currently at. So I was like, just that's a bit odd. Then again, you know, it might be anything server side that they're just load balancing for the players and acceptable latency, because sometimes you are actually just getting a bit higher.
Have a shot of this, mate.
And obviously these guys are kitted out. I'm not, because, well, it is how it is. So we're gonna see how the game actually runs with these settings, and that's as far as it's gonna go. As I said, this is a dry run. Probably I'm gonna last longer than 5 seconds after spawning in. Probably not, because this is an actual match. But we'll see once the cutscene ends and we actually drop in.
Keep them in mind.
We'll have a look-see how it goes.
Find high-value items and extract. Keep the following in mind. Shoot, loot, then time to scoot.
Look at the frames. Just look at the frames as we play.
So what's the mission again?
We're pulling 9 gigs of video memory, and we're 120 frames. Fully maxed out game. Now, obviously I have no gun because I didn't take any bullets, so I'm just gonna run around like a turkey. But the idea is, literally, we're running the same DirectX 12 API, which was churning out 63 frames for Tarkov while sitting inside a secluded area, a room, essentially. And here, you have the mountain range, you know, you have the clouds. Everything is maxed out, like ultimate preset. 130 frames, you know, 100 frames at any given time. I'll be happy. 7.58 up to 10 millisecond of frame time. This is nothing. This is playable. Here, if I die, that's a skill issue. It's not the issue of the games not being optimized at all. And look at GPU usage, 98%. It's doing its job. We're pulling 9 gigs of video memory allocated, 13 gigs of RAM. This is pretty much no longer 12 gigs of full VRAM and no longer 23 gigs of RAM. I mean, how can you argue with this? And when you actually squad up with your buddies, I could obviously, you know, go in regards, oh, but yada yada, this is not a milsim and this is not tactical. Well, I mean, depends how you look at it, really. End of the day. But yeah, probably it could be like this. Let's see, maybe someone needs a heal. Probably they won't, but hey, it is how it is. It's about the performance. And I know that you can say, hey, but you know, go play COD if you're just so frame hunting and you just want something easy to play. It's not about easy to play. Like, if you think people are choosing to play Arena or Delta Force because they want something easy to play, I have newsflash for you. That's not how it goes. Yeah, look at this. We already have something. Yeah, that's a vest. And we have 20 bullets. Someone's just wiping them all out. Oh, a 12 gauge. Don't mind me if I do. Frames.
Operator, prepare to clear the garrison and crack the safe.
I'm not saying this is not easier. It is easier, 100%. Like, in comparison to Tarkov, this is point and shoot. Excuse me? That was a bit too accurate for a bot. I stand corrected. It was a bot. But this is playable. This is actually playable. I'm sorry, am I retarded? Right. I'm getting lit up by all the enemies because I'm not really paying attention. I'm gonna be honest for you. I'm just looking at the frames with one eye and barely seeing when I'm running with the second one, but it is how it is, man. This is definitely more playable than before. In comparison to Tarkov, this is bee's knees, man. I'm hurting bad. Yeah, got all the debuffs at the same time. And we are running out of medkits. Well, I should have actually taken a medkit to actually heal myself, which I haven't done, but at the same time, at least now you can learn. Now you can actually learn the game. You can, you know, figure out, oh, what this means, what this particular icon means. How do I, you know, improve myself? How do I heal? What I need. At least this is how you learn, with 100 frames, not 63 while you're stationary. Let's have a look at Arena Breakout, and we're gonna max that game out as well. And here we are in Arena Breakout. So let's have a look-sees. Image 2K native, full screen, overall quality as per slider high. That's pretty much all there is. So this game actually is very close to Tarkov-ish, clone-like, I would want to say. Well, perhaps not. But anyway, let's just enter it in. Normal. Let's go to farm. Select map. It's gonna yell at me that I have no guns. Right, I'll have a gun. What do I want? I don't even know what I want. Get an AK. I need a chest rig. This is gonna be a death run. I don't even see the point of actually carrying anything with me, to be fair, at this point. Oh, reinforced case. Anyway, you know what? I think we're good enough. Let's just start as it is. Ignore, continue. Screw it. It's about the numbers on the screen, not about if I'm actually in a mood to go slow or go guns blazing. It's just to essentially prove the point. Or I think I'm not the only one who's talking about this. It's not even that I'm gonna threaten to never play Tarkov and jump into any other game. It's not about that at all. Like, I'm not playing Delta Force or Arena on a daily basis. Like, I play literally anything else, and if I feel like it, I might jump in with my friends or, you know, maybe something at some degree, but all of this. So, again, game fully maxed out, 100 frames, 7.6 gigs of video memory taken, 13 of RAM. DirectX 12. And I have to say, this game actually looks better than Tarkov. Like, I'm gonna die on this hill. When it comes to visual fidelity, this looks better than Tarkov. But apart from looking better, it actually runs better. And this is while recording and playing at the same time. I don't even know if I have any... if I actually have any ammo. I don't think so. I might have some. I don't know. You can just take whatever you have. Take the pistol. Give it a quick reload.
Gunshots! I'm hearing gunshots!
I mean, 100 frames. Well, someone's got my number. I mean, this is literally how you can learn the game. You finally have a chance to learn the game. Like, why is this even a discussion when it comes to it? Come on, get up. And I am going to be completely wiped as of now. By the sounds of it, someone's cleaning up the map there, but it is how it is. That should actually go here as well. I mean, what is the argument here? Like, yeah, we're cooked. Just take all of that. I mean, how is this a conversation? When it comes to the performance. Like, it's about giving a fighting chance to who's ever trying to play. And now, granted, you could... But then again, fighting chance. And it's just how it is. This is what it's about. I don't understand, like, the conversations the people are having when they're defending one particular title, overlooking the fact it's, in my opinion, is almost nearly abandoned. I'm not saying it is abandoned. Well, the battle state is still around. They're still doing things, but even with me being completely unfamiliar with the game, getting to understand how the looting works, how the medicine works, what I need to do, and having a fighting chance, I'm sorry, like, at least then you're semi-ready for the tryhards who sit in the game day in and day out, but at least you're not getting wiped by a scav in 5 seconds. Which, you know, you can always say, oh, skill issue, bro. Everything's a skill issue in life. Let's be real, like, your whole life is a skill issue. So, if you're defending the game so hard, I mean, I truly hope your life is better, because, dude. I kind of have a feeling those were the players. Because they're gone. Which, you know, fair enough. I'm not even gonna, you know, push their buttons, really. As I said, this is not an actual run. I'm not gonna go and bitch about it too much. But yeah, it's just the way it is. The performance is great in comparison to Tarkov. Damn, I mean, Microsoft Paint runs better. Even with occasional, you know, level loading or the stutter or something happens. And for this game, come on, man. I mean, at least it warrants the occasional stutter here and there. Because it looks better. It physically just looks better. Which is a lot. Oh, that guy definitely booked it. He's probably just healing up somewhere there. Or he's just slowly taking aim at my head, which is, you know, either way, it's fine. It's fine, it's okay. You can push them if you want, you can test your luck, your skill, your gear. But then again, at least you and your opponent has got a fighting chance. You missed a shot? Well, you know, reload, try again. Wherever he is. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. I mean, this is kinda a rant and kinda not a rant. I think I accidentally got him. Might as well just die by going and trying to loot him, because that dude is somewhere over there anyway. And yeah, I don't know. Leave your comments down below. Start the flame war. Call me that I'm not willing to put in effort and money to get good on a game that is literally giving me 63 frames in a room, while 2 other contenders that are slowly pushing this game out is giving us essentially 100. You know, it is how it is. Painkillers, there we go. Surgical kit. Oh, this dude came prepared. He came prepared. I just discard these. Milk, first aid. Look at this. This guy came prepared. Backpack as well. First aids. And both of my arms are shot. I should use the surgical kits on them. And again, this is just about, you know, you getting good at the game by doing it. It's, I don't know. I feel I sound like a broken record, and I know that, and I will be easily traced down here, and he will come and get me. But that's the whole point. That is the game. And trust me, it feels way better doing this at 100 frames than it does on 60. It's just the way it is, really. You know, there's nothing about it. It's just the way it is. Ah, no broken parts. Okay, can use regular first aid. One round. Should have taken the milk. Seriously? No, he had nothing on him. He tried. I kind of feel bad about him, though. Kind of feel bad about him. I don't think this was, you know, an actual player. Come on, I'm not even moving. But yeah, anyway, this is all I have for you guys today. As again, trying to end this, but the game just keeps on playing well, you know, it just keeps on running decent enough for me to just keep on doing things until I die and then just starting again with no regrets. Which is how it should be. So yeah, see you next time. Over and out.